The Verdant Cure. Elias didn't mind the smell of the shop, a thick, cloying mix of damp earth and rotting jasmine. He was desperate. The surgeons had called his condition inoperable, a word that sounded like a closing door. "The tea is fine for maintenance," Mother Vane whispered, her fingers like gnarled roots pressing a heavy ceramic jar into his palms. "But for a total restoration, you must use the poultice. Apply it to the site of the decay. Do not wash it off. Let it feed." "Feed on what?" Elias asked, coughing. "The imbalance," she replied with a thin yellow smile. That night, Elias smeared the gray-green paste over his chest. It felt cold at first, then intensely hot. By midnight, the pain that had defined his life for months vanished, replaced by a strange, rhythmic thrumming against his ribs. He woke at dawn feeling lighter than air. He went to the bathroom to wash, but as he reached for the faucet, he stopped. Under the skin of his torso, something was moving. Thick, emerald veins had mapped themselves across his ribs, pulsing with a life that wasn't his own. He tried to scrape the dried paste away, but it wasn't a crust anymore. It was a seal. When he pulled at a stray green fiber, a sharp, electric jolt of agony shot to his brain. He screamed, but the sound was muffled. A soft, leafy sprout had already begun to unfurl from the back of his throat. Panicked, he looked in the mirror. Small, white flowers were blooming in the corners of his eyes. He realized then that Mother Vane hadn't lied. The imbalance was his humanity, and the cure was simply replacing it with something more efficient. The sun felt different now. To the old Elias, it had been a source of warmth or an annoyance to his eyes. To the thing standing in the bathroom, it was sustenance. The transformation didn't stop at the throat. By the second day, Elias no longer felt the urge to breathe. His lungs, once riddled with the inoperable decay, had been repurposed into a spongy, moss-like bellows that filtered carbon from the stagnant air of his apartment. The apartment began to change with him. As Elias moved, his footsteps left damp, spore-rich prints on the hardwood. He tried to reach for the phone to call for help, but his fingers had grown long and wooden, the tips hardening into delicate, sensitive tendrils. When he touched the screen, the glass didn't register his heat. He was room temperature, a steady, photosynthetic engine. He didn't feel fear anymore. Fear was a chemical byproduct of a mammalian brain, and his brain was rapidly being interlaced with a fine, silver mycelium. Instead, he felt a profound, quiet hunger. The sight, the white flowers in his eyes had matured. He no longer saw colors. He saw gradients of vitality. The wooden chair was dead gray. The mold in the corner was a shimmering violet. The sound. He could hear the water moving through the pipes in the walls, a rhythmic pulsing that mimicked the heartbeat he had lost. The purpose. The imbalance was almost gone. The weakness of flesh, the fragility of a heart that could fail, or cells that could turn cancerous, was being overwritten by the relentless logic of the grove. On the third night, Elias didn't walk. He drifted, his movements fluid and heavy. He returned to the shop, the smell of rotting jasmine now smelling like a sweet, welcoming perfume. Mother Vane was waiting. She wasn't behind the counter this time. She was sitting in the center of the room, her legs rooted deep into a hole in the floorboards. Her skin was the color of ancient oak, and her hair was a cascading waterfall of weeping willow branches. "The surgeons, they use steel to cut the rot away," she vibrated, her voice a rustle of leaves. "But steel cannot create. Only life can consume life." Elias tried to speak, but the sprout in his throat had blossomed into a lush, velvet calla lily. Instead of words, he released a cloud of fine, golden pollen. Mother Vane reached out a branch-like arm, touching the emerald veins on his chest. "You are a fine specimen, Elias. The decay you brought me was a rich fertilizer. You are no longer a man dying of a disease. You are the foundation of a new forest." Elias felt the floorboards give way beneath his feet. He didn't fall. His toes, now long and fibrous, pierced the wood and found the cool, damp soil beneath the shop of the imbalanced millions above. He closed his eyes, and for the first time in his life, the pain was gone. In its place was a vast, silent network. He could feel others like him, scattered across the city in dark basements and hidden gardens, their roots stretching out to find his. The cure was complete. Elias wasn't just healed, he was expanded. Thank you for watching.